Alrighty, welcome back. Just breezed right through hour 2 of a Wicked Wednesday edition of Liquid Lunch. Lucky enough to have former Staten Island Congressman Vito Fossella in studio with me. Thank you, my friend, for coming by.
Great to be with you, Joe.
Appreciate it. So, Vito, a lot of people, I sent you the other day. He's one of my, political mentors. I kind of listen to him here and there, but not always.
Zero.
Zero. But, this thing I read on Newsmax the other day was going, crazy. It went viral, absolutely viral. And I was like, I've tried so many ways in life to do over-the-top things and stand on my head to get something to go viral, and nothing happens.
Yes.
And
in
then
fact, when you had your son John, you actually did a cartwheel in the hospital hall.
That was the one. That didn't go viral, but I mean, it was one of the best moments of my life. That's for sure. But no, so this thing, I read this thing on Newsmax, and it goes viral, and a lot of the negative comments were like, who the hell is this guy? This jerk, Johnny Tobacco, he's like a fake name, he's an extra in a Goodfellas, like all the traditional Staten Island stereotypes were flying out there.
Negative stereotypes.
All the negative stereotypes, And I thought it would be nice for those haters out there who don't understand to take you back to May of this year, okay? I think it was around May when myself and Lou Gelomino and Mark Fonte and Keith Campanella and Joe Calabrese and a bunch of just local guys said, we got to do something to try to stop these lockdowns. And here's a picture that I thought would tell you a lot for people who think that I'm just in this for a moment and I'm this, that, and the other thing. These are guys who all have businesses. These are guys who have families, have a million obligations. We were all of us taking multiple hours out of our week to try to figure out how to beat the lockdown. And we opened the tanning salon, if you remember. And it was a little bit of a Pyrrhic victory. We opened the tanning salon and we went in, and Joe Borelli was willing to come down and make a purchase. So it was a symbolic win, but at least it was in Staten Island. It was like the building blocks of, all right, we could do this. And when we got Lou and Mark on board, then owners and business owners felt like, all right, we can get lawyers that'll help us for free, and people got a little more nervy. And we just talked to a great rabbi from Brooklyn, and he said, there's no time for civility. You know what I mean? Can we let up now?
No, I think you're right, John. First of all, you tried, right? Yeah. There were those who were just looking around for answers, for guidance, for help, assistance. Once again, we're talking about not people for handouts that we're seeing the picture now, but just people who wanted to step in and help somebody in need, right? And they had nowhere to turn. The elected officials were telling them to shut up and lock down. So you and Mark and Lou and Joe and a bunch of others.
I mean, he had the most nerve of all. He was the first guy on Staten Island and the first guy in New York City to say, screw it, I'm opening.
But he was symbolically or emblematic of an effort to try to get their businesses back and their livelihoods back. And then you went fast forward to restaurants on Lincoln Avenue, Max Public House, right behind us here, where you have been very, integral to this process. And I did see you on Newsmax. And by the way, if you get a chance, watch John on Newsmax when he's co-hosting or substituting for others. And he does very, very well. And he did it.
I clean up good, right?
You clean up great.
Man, they airbrushed my face. Remember the airbrush when we were kids? Yeah. She's like doing my makeup. She's like, do you mind if I airbrush you? I'm like, please airbrush me.
It's been a while. But you're right. So Newsmax had to put out a statement. You happened to be substituting host that day. I know, hand to the Bible, know you were going to be co-hosting, and it just happened to be on that day. And it's interesting that it's almost like you can never do anything right?
Yeah.
So here you come forward, and Newsmax has to put out a statement for whatever reason. I'm sure their lawyers looked at it, the threats of lawsuits, and this day, you say the wrong thing and you look the wrong way. Here comes the lawsuit. So they did what they had to do, and then there were 5 million tweets thereabouts.
Yeah,
right?
It was like
going viral.
Yeah, it was like 5 million views, and a lot of them were. There it is. Right there. I of course had to jump on the bandwagon, and I tweeted this out. My first time hosting on Newsmax. It's in 6 months, and all of a sudden I'm trending on Twitter. I thought that might be a little good thing.
I think it was a great thing. So you happened to be there, and again issue that statement. Granted, notoriety comes. I think what happened, for example, on Election Day, when Arizona was called so early by Fox, I think that was an impetus to have people drift elsewhere, and it seems to have stayed the same, right? People have drifted away from Fox to places like Newsmax or One American News or elsewhere. And, but the more important message, I think, is still focusing on the election, focusing on the integrity of those elections. What does it all mean? I can tell you that I know guys who voted their entire lives who have said to me, they're good guys, successful people who said they will never vote again because they don't think their vote means anything. And that's disgraceful. It really is. And then we have all these business owners who continue to struggle, continue to look for a lifeline. And out of Congress over the last few days, we have things like PPP and direct stimulus checks, which are great. And then lo and behold, we have tens, hundreds of millions of dollars going to other countries simultaneously while we're trying to bail out the United States citizens and business owners. Something just doesn't make right in all of that.
No doubt. And something's not right here in our last couple of minutes. Something's not right here in New York, obviously, with Cuomo and de Blasio and this overreach. But, the Cuomo was out there last week saying Staten Island has the highest infection. No, this was all lies. But Joe Borelli put out a good tweet yesterday, and Joe's been getting under the skin of the governor. And Joe put this out. It says, none of the city's 10 zip codes with the highest positive case rates are now on Staten Island. I'm curious whether Governor Cuomo will blame those folks for getting sick. And that's a pretty good thing right there, showing that, Staten Island's off the radar, right? And last week, he kind of, 2 days ago, he put out this statement that, people in Staten Island want to gather to make political statements, and now look at you, you idiots, basically, You think he'll be attacking the people in those zip codes, Vito?
No, and first of all, there's a difference still. We have to keep reminding people there's a difference between testing positive and case. There's actually a medical terminology and definition of what a case is as opposed to testing positive. So I don't drink the Kool-Aid to begin with. And what I would like to see, I'm just trying to go back to the videotape of after the riots and the looting, how many people, elected officials, came forward and said, stop that, and criticized people.
Right.
And then you're right, Joe was right to put that out. Let's see where it goes. I don't think it's going to go anywhere, to be honest. But it's a positive thing. Maybe at a minimum, they can reopen restaurants. Let them get their lives back.
Yeah, all right. Well, hopefully we'll open, Max. Hopefully you'll open up tomorrow and join us again, as you always do, because we'll be here for a Thirsty Thursday edition of Liquid Lunch. Same bat time, same bat channel, more Liquid Lunch.